All that undercover shit was out the window. It was just goju mode, and that was it. Done. Next thing I know, the guy that follows you, which is called a ghost, because you're never alone, he's another undercover. He saw the woman going out the window, holding on to her ear. I think her ear got cut off as I threw her out the window. And the other guy, he just got hit up. I didn't finish him. He ran up the stairs and they found him under a bed somewhere. But that was a crazy situation.
How you've learned it and the different senseis that you've learned from. So speaking as another practitioner of traditional martial arts, how would you say that more traditional martial arts are becoming more obsolete in this quote modern age that we have of martial arts, you know, with the advent of like more people doing like MMA and more MMA inspired arts? Would you say that arts like goju are becoming more popular, staying the same as far as popularity, or becoming less popular with the public nowadays?
Well, that's a good question. And I've seen goju, I've seen it hold strong while all these other electric karates or MMA and jiu-jitsu fads come around, and classical would go down and then go up. Right before COVID hit, it was on the upswing. Really, really was. I mean, there was a lot of traditional dojos opening up. The COVID absolutely did it in, and it still is. I would have to say that there were probably 12 goju dojos on Staten Island alone. You know, some people I knew, some people I didn't. You know, people coming of rank, they want to open their own dojo. Now there's mine.
That's
wow.
That's saddening.
That's very bad. And now maybe there'll be a resurgence. But I know what you're asking me as far as like how does it put up with MMA?
Yes, sir.
And jiu-jitsu and Gracie jiu-jitsu. I remember the two UFCs that I ever watched were the first two. Those are the only ones I ever watched where there were no rules, nothing. And I said, wow, that's something there. That looks like Midtown South. That looks interesting. I realized, I said, oh shit, we're gonna have to put some rules in here. You can't pull the eye out. You can't hit to the throat. Shit, that guy's easy. And then they started adding rules, and I said, that's not. One thing there was when the Gracies, after that, the Gracies started doing touring in the country, promoting their style. So I said, oh, they're doing it over here in the Hilton in New Jersey, Woodbridge, New Jersey. I'm going to go. I had nobody to go with. So I just showed up. And I talked to as I walked in, I talked to the older brother. I believe his name was Rickson, or the older one, who they say was the best technician. And I said, I'm a goju practitioner. He goes, oh, hello, nice to meet you, and everything. He said, but I'm here by myself. And it looks like everybody's paired up already. He goes, no problem. I got someone for you over here. And this little old man comes out with these cauliflower ears, and we start rolling around and doing these moves. There's a great guy laughing and joking. It was the friggin' father. The Gracie father. I didn't know who the hell the old guy was. I just think he was a black belt. And it was unbelievable. And I catch from the corner of my eye as my face was being pinned onto the mat. The brother in the corner cracking up.
Wow. Oh, right. God. That sounds about right.
Experience. The old man was out there doing his thing. It was like an octopus. I was like, wait, what the hell? It was a lot of fun, and I learned a lot. Yeah. I kind of put myself in these situations. To learn.
Yeah, I definitely understand that.
New York is the place, man. Everybody comes to New York, and if you're sleeping, you'll miss it.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So you've had a lot of experiences in New York in terms of like all of your martial arts experiences from New York, right? Policing and everything. Now, I'm gonna kind of transition this over to something that I wanted to talk to you about when it came to your experiences with violent encounters as a police officer and as a detective. And how has those kind of experiences kind of changed how you saw goju in terms of how it's used?
Completely different. It changed it incredibly. Soon as I put my hands on somebody in the street, I said, uh-oh, I need to step up my training. This is insane. Because anything they show you in the police academy is just basic, so they can mark a check box to say that you learned something. But as far as a martial artist and a goju practitioner, when I put my hands on someone, I could not believe. I was like, wait a minute, that's not supposed to happen. That's not supposed to happen. So I stepped up my training a lot. And every time I went to a new unit, there was new challenges where I had to learn something a little more stronger, hit the iron palm a little more. You had to pull back. You can't. I mean, there was each situation that I was ever put in called for something completely different that, thank God, I was training, else I would have been dead. I mean, the situations were just insane. Insane. I mean, I'm trying to think of one, or I'm trying to think when I got my fourth dan Renchi, I was just going into narcotics. And I went into narcotics. I filled out that form and they said, you're an undercover. I wanted to do narcotics, not as an undercover, but I embraced it. And I said, I'm here, you know what, to myself, I'm here to see if my goju works in narcotics, because you have no shield, no ID card, there's no vest, there's no, protection except for your gun and your wits, your mouth, and your weapon if you need to use it. And my goju worked. My goju worked a lot. That article that you read in that hallway, I was a seasoned undercover by then. And I went in there and I told the investigators, and I don't want to go there. And it's too risky. It's not no, it's fine. I said, okay. And I went in and that guy grabbed my gun and that pregnant lady jumped on my back. All that undercover shit was out the window. It was just goju mode, and that was it. Done. Next thing I know, the guy that follows you, which is called a ghost, because you're never alone, he's another undercover. He saw the woman going out the window, holding on to her ear. I think her ear got cut off as I threw her out the window. And the other guy, he just got hit up. I didn't finish him. He ran up the stairs and they found him under a bed somewhere, but that was a crazy situation. When someone, and at that time I didn't have an automatic, I had a revolver. And those guys are trained in the street. They know if you grab a gun by the barrel, not the barrel, cylinder, you can't pull the trigger. It won't go to the next round.
Because it can't rotate.
You can't shoot it. So he grabbed that. And he pulled my arm this way. So that's when Tensho came into it. Just happened. Tensho just came right out. No mind. Mushin. Just came right out.
Nice.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. It was just insane. I mean, you know what? You know what's funny, you guys? I run into guys that sometimes you go to wakes with retired cops pass away. Now it's more Bin Laden striking from the grave with the 9/11 cancers and stuff. So if you know someone, you go. I walk into a funeral home, and these guys are telling stories, and they're looking at me, and I'm like, yeah, what? You did it, remember? No, I don't remember. What are you talking about? The time you tied that guy up in the street, and the other time when you went after that guy in the tent city, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't remember those things. Some of the things I don't remember. Obviously it happened. And I got tired of telling these stories. So what I did was I filled out a form and I requested my medical record, because anytime you get hurt on the police department during an incident, you fill out a medical form. So I requested it. And this is like 5 years ago. They sent it to me. It was a package like this. Half the shit I don't even remember. It tells, because the form's in there. The person getting locked up is attached to the medical form. Holy shit, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, remember when you got hit by a car and you rolled over the car and landed on your feet? And then there's witness statements. There's witness statements. It's insanity.
What?
There was one time I was on a scooter and this car was calling for help down the Staten Island Ferry in Manhattan. And I was going, and this guy happened to move into the wrong lane. It was a pickup, and he hit me. And I rolled over the handlebars over the car, over the pickup, and landed on my feet. And then passed out after I asked for license registration. There was a tourist truck across the street, a tourist bus. The guy came out to help me. He's telling me I never saw anything like that in my life. And he got those
Wow.
It was crazy. My father used to tell me, you're an idiot. You should have went off this job years ago. I used to get hit by cars all the time. All the time and just roll out. At the time, the Basie had me doing Daiataru Jiu-Jitsu, and you weren't allowed to stand up. And if you did stand up, you had to fly and then roll. It was, listen.
Reflex.
Crazy martial arts. Crazy.
So would you say now, using this martial arts in these situations where it's very, very much a life or death situation, when you've had to use the arts, at any point in time, had you had to incur any type of legal trouble from using the arts, or anything that would come from using an art that's based like yours? 2
times where when I was in anti-crime, the person that I actually locked up, or the persons that I locked up, instead of taking a plea deal, fought it at trial. So you have to testify. So that was back in the 80s, and there was no computers or phones or nothing like that. So my bio was not out there. But, the district attorney and the defense attorney, they'll ask you. First off, they'll see my knuckles because I was hitting the makiwara. I said, what's wrong with your hands? I said, well, I studied martial arts, and that was it. What rank are you? Blah, blah, blah. So Sensei DeBasie always told me, if you have to say something, you're the black belt student, and you train under me, and I'm a student under Sensei Yamaguchi and Sensei Urban. So as long as you keep saying you're a student, you're pretty much covered. That helped me out on 2 incidents, right? Mm-hmm. When you're an undercover in narcotics, you rarely testify, rarely. So it's to keep the identity of the undercover. Mm-hmm. It's a big thing for an undercover to testify. The judge, you have to sit in front of the judge in his chambers, and they have to talk to you why they feel that your life is in danger. And then if he does decide that you need to testify, he's got to close the courtroom. They got to put these papers over the windows of the doors. Nobody's allowed in there except the defendant, and so it's a big deal.
Oh, wow!
Once when I was doing a case file with these 2 mafia groups that were trying to be up and coming. They owned a strip club, and I was buying 8 balls and guns out of it. So then it came down, and they wanted to have a trial. So crazy, absolutely insane. Crazy. Yeah. So that was basically the only time. But there were guys that got in trouble that I knew, only because their ego pushed them a little too far, and the ego will do that. If you don't fight your ego, then, you have no idea. I feel really bad talking about all this shit because I never really talk about it, but I don't know. I guess, something told me it was time. I really liked the questions that you brought up and that you did some investigating. So that's why I agreed to do this. But I don't, sometimes I don't feel that comfortable talking about stuff like this, but you guys, you seem to know what you're doing, and I know you're like an upstart podcast. And if this helps you guys get going and it blossoms into something else, then I'm for it.
Oh, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sensei. Thank you.
Wonder if I have any easier questions to answer.
You want to hear a question? And you can look this up.
All right.
I thought it'd be easy retiring and then working for Robert De Niro. I thought it'd be easy. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you something. I thought the police department was interesting because every couple of years you transfer. You don't have to transfer from this circus. It's insane. I mean, think about this. I received a pipe bomb because I get all Mr. De Niro's mail. And this guy sent a pipe bomb to blow up De Niro. And I got it. I looked at it. I said, oh, this is interesting. You know what? Let me put this in this box over here. I have a box of mail, physical mail, that I go through like twice a week and, just kind of clean it out. People asking for autographs or saying, I hate you, I love you, or whatever, So I said, this is interesting. Put it in the box, right? The next day I was scheduled for a quick surgery on my knee. Nothing major, just a quick thing, right? Clean up, whatever, right? So I go in for the surgery. It's great. I go home. I got anesthesia in me, a little medicine, not too much. I don't like to take medicine, but I don't want to disturb my wife, so I'm sleeping on the couch, right? I wake up and something that maybe for another time, I have the triplet girls, right? So I only have one bathroom in my house. So I would wake up when it started in 7th grade. I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, do a 2.5 hour workout every day, except Saturday and Sunday before I went to work, and then drive them to school, come home, shower, and go to work. And I did that since 7th grade. So it was a long time. So I was in that condition. So I was laying on the couch, and I looked at my phone, and I see on the Post app a picture of these bombs that went to Clinton, went to Soros, they went to all these people, Clapper. And I'm like, hey, you know what? That looks familiar. And you can look it up because it's all on the news. So I wake my wife up, and I said, I got a problem. She goes, what's wrong? What's wrong? I said, sit down. Now it's 3:30 in the morning. She goes, what is the problem? She thought I fell off the couch or something. I said, there's a bomb on my desk. What are you talking about?
Oh,
this is going to be the best podcast you ever did in your life. She goes, what are you talking? I'm telling you right now that there's the picture. The same thing that the Post is putting is on my desk in my office. Well, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to call the bomb squad. So this is why I was hired, because I have the connections, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just for coincidence, a week ago, before the bomb came, I called the bomb squad, and I told him, I said, I have a situation with a battery charger. It's leaking. What do you do? He goes, well, you know what? It's really not a police department issue. It's not a fire department issue. It's a sanitation issue. Put it in 2 bags and throw it the fuck out. Okay, buddy, no problem. So now I call, the same guy picks up. One of the He goes, are you the guy with the leaking battery charger? I said, yeah, man. Listen, I got a problem. I just had surgery. I told you I'm the director of security for De Niro. I think there's a bomb on my desk that I received. What? I'm telling you right now, it's there. He goes, all right. Just because of who you are, you retired from the job, detective 2nd grade, I'll put together a quick team. We'll take a slow right down. But you have to call the 1st precinct and talk to the sergeant on the desk. I said, okay, no problem. He goes, we're going to take a slow ride down. And they're not that far from 375 Greenwich Street. So I call the sergeant on the desk, who does not want to be on the desk at 3:30 in the morning.
Of course.
As a young son, right?
Yeah.
He's miserable. So I said, how you doing, Sarge? I'm retired from the job. My name's Glenn Cunningham. I was a detective in Intel. What's up, guy? Oh, no. God, here we go.
One of those.
Yep. I'm the director of security for De Niro. I just had knee surgery. I'm not hallucinating. I'm pretty sure there's a bomb on my desk in my office. He's like, what? I said, listen, I'm telling you, I have a very good memory. I was in Intel for a reason. You need to go check this out. What's your tax number, guy? So I tell him my number. He sees that it comes up, that it's legit. He goes, all right, you're telling me that. Let me see if I can find someone. I said, Sarge, do yourself a favor. Do your due diligence. I'm making a notification. Go over there and check it out. Okay, I'll do that. I'll call you back. What's your number? Give him my number, right? So now I got all the cameras. I'm the director of security on my phone. So I'm watching. I see him go right past the place. I'm like, holy Christ. He calls me. He goes, hey, guy, This place is locked up. I said, Sarge, I think I told you, it's the only place with the flag hanging in front. You see the security guard in front? He's waving you down. Oh, yeah. All right, I'll call you back. So I see him go in. The security guard goes across the street. He goes up the elevator, goes to the right, goes in my office, right? He's in there for about 20 seconds. I see him back out. White, pale. Gets on the elevator, goes downstairs, goes across the street. He goes, hey, Detective Cunningham, I think we have a problem up in your office. I said, yeah, I know, guy.
Complete total.
So now the bomb squad comes, they go up, they put the equipment on, they x-ray it. It's a bomb. They put it in this bomb-proof box. They take it out, they evacuate half everything, and they take it up. It was the fucking bomb. Crazy. Insane.
Oh.
Who does that? That's just one story. So they asked me to interview. I did a few interviews.
Wow.
Crazy.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, this is so good.